talk about whether you should disrupt birth order when adopting. I have some personal opinions about this myself. If we haven't met yet, I'm Stephanie A. I'm the founder and executive director of Adoption and Beyond. We help hopeful adoptive families and expecting parents with their adoption through educational and emotional support from pregnancy to placement to beyond. So there's a lot of opinions about whether families should disrupt birth order. And I'm just going to be very honest with you. In my personal experience, we did disrupt birth order in our family when we adopted our daughter. We already had 4 children, and then we adopted our daughter, and she fit in between the baby and the next to the baby. So she fit in right there as our 4th child. She became our 4th child of our 5. And so it really didn't impact our family a great deal in terms of the children we already had in our home, because we did not disrupt their birth order, because the baby already had older siblings. The older siblings already had younger siblings. So, but what I wasn't prepared for was the fact that we disrupted our daughter's birth order, the one we adopted. She was the baby where she came from, and therefore she didn't appreciate there being another baby already in the house. And that was something that I didn't even think about when we adopted. Not that it would have made the difference in whether we adopted her or not, but I just wasn't prepared for how that was going to impact her coming in and being replaced with her birth order. So we're going to talk about some rules that you should look at, or some things you should think about if you're going to be disrupting birth order. But before we do that, I just want to let you know there are some very strong opinions about this, and there's big advocates who do not believe in disrupting birth order at all. And so there's just a lot of differing opinions on that. But the first one that I definitely wholeheartedly believe in is that you should not replace the oldest child already in the home, especially if they're 5 or 6 years old and they're already in school. I do not believe you should replace that older child, because that, the oldest child has a role that they play in the family, just like the baby does. It's a little bit easier to slip other children into your family when you go below the oldest child. You're going to want to try to simplify your life as much as possible, so that way you have the time and energy that you need when adding another child to your family, regardless of whether you're adopting out of birth order or not. You really need to be able to give that child the attention and the time that they need. And speaking of time and attention, it's really important as you add more children to your family, especially if you adopt out of birth order, is to be sure you give each child their time and their own special time to spend with you, their own attention, and to be able to help them feel like they're not being replaced, and to give them what they need in your family. Help try to keep things as normal as possible for the children you're already parenting when you bring a new child in. So be sure you keep them connected with play dates, and have the grandparents come in and help, and just try to keep some normalcy for the children as everyone makes this transition. Be sure you listen to your children. Give them a voice and give them a time that you allow them to, have your individual attention. You can do this during your individual time with them, but be sure they have a voice to express their thoughts and their feelings. And because sometimes this actually just really has nothing to do with birth order, but it's just really difficult on the family when you bring other children in through adoption. And so that you just give everybody a chance to voice their thoughts and their opinions, and to be able to vent if they need to vent. So just be sure you give your child a voice and allow them to speak how they feel. Okay, this is a big one. Let's say that you happen to have an 8-year-old, and you happen to adopt an 8-year-old. Don't treat them as twins. Don't even go there. They're not twins. Don't treat them that way. And so just know, and sometimes also you may adopt 2 children who, this is not done as much anymore as it used to be, but a lot of times families would adopt 2 children the same age at the same time that weren't biological siblings, and then they would start treating them like twins. Don't do that. because they're not twins. And so it's really important that they're treated as the individual that they are. And be sure that you get help and support as soon as you see that you need that. Don't take the wait and see approach. Be sure that you get everyone the services that they need, whether that be counseling for the child who's coming into your home, or counseling for your children, or just family counseling, just to help everyone make this a smooth process for everyone as possible. So thank you so much for watching. Rest assured you're in the right place to receive the information that you need to build your family through adoption. Thanks so much. Bye.